Another fantastic conference. Thanks PayDirt for bringing us all together once again. I'm Adam Oehlman. I've had the pleasure of serving as CEO of African Gold for the past 10 months. We've gone through a period of tremendous growth from 3 cents to about 30. And we're only just getting started, really. I mean, our goal is to deliver Côte d'Ivoire's next multi-million ounce gold project. And with the discoveries already made, the resource we've delivered, and the emerging discoveries that we have going, and we're discovering with our 40,000 metre drill program, we're well on our way. So last year, I was working for a pretty well-known family office, and I thought I was playing a bit safe. I saw there's the unrivaled assets coming out of Africa, and that really put me on a path to go down a new frontier, being Africa, which led me to African Gold. And I think there's no better opportunity or representation of the Africa and how great it is than Côte d'Ivoire. It's got remarkable geology, a government that we're very thankful how supportive they are to the industry. I think they recognise what mining can bring in terms of prosperity, and just world-class assets like our Didievi project shaping up to be. So we've got a pretty simple story. We've delivered close to a million ounce resource at our flagship Didievi. It's 2.5 grams per tonne, so very high grade. We are in a great postcode. We're surrounded by 8 million tonnes of processing capacity. We've got Perseus's Yaouré within trucking distance, Bonikro and Agbao as well. We're well funded and supported, so we've got about $13 million in liquid assets, similar to Kagan. Montage are a major investor of ours, and they've been transformational for our business. They're a $2 billion Canadian development company, developing the 300 kilo ounce per annum Koné Gold Project. And finally, our board, we've got a bit of a track record for discovery and delivery, and we believe we've got the right team, the right people, the right postcode to realise the full value of our portfolio. As you can see here, our flagship asset is just outside of the capital, Yamoussoukro. So similar to Justin's project, we've got amazing access to water, power, whatever we need. We're surrounded by operating mines. We've got all of the, it's the capital of the country. It's just a very easy place to operate. To the northwest, about 3 hours, we've got Konahiri. This is our genuine second front of discovery. It's an 18-kilometre long soil anomaly, very fertile greenstone belt. And together, these two sort of projects of focus give us two genuine exposure to significant gold discoveries. In June, we delivered a major resource update. It was 980,000, 89,000 ounces at 2.5, very high grade system by any means. The deposit is open in all directions. What's probably most exciting, I guess what everyone invests in mining for, is the fact that it is open in all directions, and we are drilling aggressively at the moment. We've just kicked off a 40,000 metre drill campaign, and we're just really extending the extent of the resource, and we're also taking it regionally, which I'll touch on. This resource that we delivered just gave us a really solid foundation, confirmed the geology, confirmed the mineralisation style, gave us a lot of data, just a real solid base for us to continue to build on aggressively. As you can see in long section here, there's been some fantastic high-grade hits throughout the system, and there's some on the edges. So it's really what we're seeing on this slide. You've got 65 metres at 5.6 grams per tonne and 52 at 2.9, and I could call out a dozen more. But this plan view really just shows not the limitations of the project, but just how open we are. And with the current drill program, we're really testing and extending that. What makes it even more compelling is it literally daylights outcrops at surface. So the artisanal workings that were instrumental in the discovery of the project really gives us confidence in that the fact that they were able to discover this high-grade system just by digging around at hand. I think with our systematic exploration of the system will continue to deliver and grow. And also, given as we progress through to development, having high-grade ounces close to surface is in value to any operating project. It just continues to deliver though, Didievi, and I think you would have seen in some of the other presentations that having multiple resource zones on a single piece of tenure is very common in Côte d'Ivoire, and that's what we have here. So we've delivered the resource, the base that's growing at Bluff-Aguedo on the Didievi tenement, but we've got 8 other drill-ready targets, and in the last program, 10,000 metre drill program, we also delivered 2 new discoveries. That being the Poku Trend, 110 metres at 0.5, really consistent bulk, lower grade mineralisation. And then 11 kilometres to the north, we outlined 600 metres of continuous mineralisation. Looks very similar to Bluff-Aguedo, and that's the Prenoy prospect. We got some outstanding results, such as 25 metres at 1.7, and historically there's been 40 metres at 1.7 thereabouts. So it's the tenement just has, when you really look at it as a whole, it starts to shape up that Bluff-Aguedo is just the first chapter in a larger multi-million ounce story. Just 3 kilometres to the east of Bluffo is the Poku Trend. I guess the key here is just the scale. It's a 9 kilometre long soil anomaly. We've barely scratched the surface. It's great to have the initial drilling success and sort of define a bit of strike, but really this could be anything. And having it just directly next to our high-grade zone, high-grade resource, it gives us a lot of development flexibility. And then 11 kilometres to the north, Prenoy, I mentioned, we developed 600 metres of continuous mineralisation. It's very similar, very similar to Bluffo, our existing resource zones. We have a very good handle on the system and the geology, and as we continue with this program that we're drilling at the moment to step out along strike, there's very high potential for this to be the next resource zone on the tenement in quick succession. And what really ties it all together is the location. So being within trucking distance of 3 operating mines gives us a lot of development flexibility, whether it's toll treating, acquiring an aging asset from a neighbour, or sequencing production as a bit of a hybrid, a lower capex style to get in, whether it's an open pit while we build something much larger. You look at the targets, the strikes, the widths, what we already have. We believe we have the growth trajectory and the ability to deliver quite a substantial standalone asset, but at the same time, it's nice to have options. Onto the 40,000 metre drill campaign that I've mentioned a few times. So the focus here is probably threefold. We want to continue to grow the Bluff-Aguedo resource. We're focusing on the near surface resources. We've still got a bit to go down there. While secondly, there's immediately adjacent targets, Bluff-Aguedo northwest, Bluff-Aguedo far north, that are definitely within the existing resource zone, but they've never been followed up with drilling. So there's a great opportunity there to add some low cost, easy ounces into the resource base. And then thirdly, we're taking the rigs regionally. So the Poku Trend, it's just such a compelling opportunity. We're absolutely thrilled with what we've seen so far, and now as we get back in there and step out quite aggressively, we want to test the extents before filling in. And then Prenoy and Kawassi to the north. So Prenoy, as it sits, is about 1.5 kilometres in strike, and Kawassi's about the same. So if those guys line up, we've got 3 kilometres of strike of pretty decent mineralisation that we've seen so far. So we're excited to get in there. We've got 2 rigs on site at the moment. We'll be scaling up to 4 as we progress, and they'll create a pretty steady stream of results and progression on the exploration front. Konihiri, I don't really get to talk about it much because Didievi is such a standout, but this is a genuine second focus of discovery for us. We've got an 18 kilometre long soil anomaly. Currently we're doing an infill soil program, which is defining a nice anomaly that will follow up with auger. And then despite the remarkable geology that we have here, it's never been drilled before. So this year we're going to get in there with the rigs and hopefully make a discovery. I think in my mind it's just how much and at what grade. So we'll see. Keep an eye out. Looking ahead, we see a pretty active pipeline of value drivers. We delivered the resource. We're building on that now, so actively drilling, progressing forward. In parallel, we don't want to sit around in terms of the tenement front. We're doing the test work. We're doing environmentals, scoping study, all of the stuff that will feed into any future ML application. And if we are able to sort of leverage some sort of early access, we can move quite quickly. Our major investor sort of secured their mining permit in around about a year. So, similar to as Kagan alluded to, you can, and Justin as well, is proof in the pudding there, where Côte d'Ivoire is the place that you can move at speed and create a lot of value. So if you put it all together, including the kind of hairy stuff that we're doing, exploration there, that second genuine front, it's a pretty consistent stream of catalysts. Discovery, resource growth, technical de-risking and permitting. And it's all really just to drive African gold forward. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a simple story. We've got our high-grade ounces in hand. We're well-funded. We've got a clear pathway to growth. We're focused, and we've got the right team to realise the full potential of our portfolio. Thanks.